This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa. Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet world. West Alabama, how are we doing today on a Monday? May the 4th be with you for all our Star Wars fans. Revenge of the Sith coming up tomorrow. Revenge of the 5th coming up tomorrow. So it's going to be a great day. The month of May has started. It is a brand new week. It is the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. We appreciate everybody watching us on the Bama Central YouTube channel, Facebook page. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. A lot of you are downloading it. I cannot thank you enough. I cannot thank you enough for downloading it, for sharing it with your friends, for spreading the show around. The numbers reflect that in the back end, so I really appreciate everybody who's participating in the show. I'm sure it's all Theo Fernandez's fault for bringing in new listeners. Make sure you follow Theo Fernandez at Theo Fernandez _ on the Twitter machine. You can find me at Joe Gaither 6. You can leave us all a voicemail at 205-462-7340, extension 800. If you want to be a part of the program, we would love to have you guys participate, and girls participate in the program however you see fit. I am back in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios today. We appreciate Derek Daniel for sponsoring the program. Check him out for all of your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. Call and see how much he can save you today, or visit him right here, right on Highway 69 North as you're going through Northport, just past the Tiger Rock on the left. We also are brought to you by Purple Turtle Roofing. You can visit them online today at roofturtle.com. It doesn't matter if you've got a metal roof or a shingle roof. They will take care of you. Check them out, all their products and services at roofturtle.com, or you can call them to talk to somebody at 877-787-6635. Schedule your free roof appointment today. They'll come out, inspect your roof, make sure that you are good to go for all the storms that happen. You want to make sure that you have the peace of mind that you deserve, and Purple Turtle Roofing can give that to you. So I appreciate Purple Turtle Roofing for sponsoring the program. We're going to have a lot of fun with our friend Theo Fernandez. We got a voicemail from Everett Osmer. We'll get to that in just a little bit. We've got we're going to talk about Alabama baseball sweeping Vanderbilt. We're going to talk about a new Alabama quarterback commitment. We never did get to Nate Oates' comments last week on the Alabama roster, as he talked about really how the roster is being managed and constructed and all the question mark pieces that are still out there, how the puzzle is puzzling. And my man Theo Fernandez left us promising a thought on the NCAA tournament expansion. I want to apologize for everybody that I missed on Friday. I just wasn't feeling very well, so we just didn't have a show. So I appreciate everybody who was patient with us and is back locked in with us on a Monday. Theo Fernandez, good morning, and how are you, sir?
I'm doing great out here, Joe. LA is beautiful. Great start to my time here in California. Can't complain about anything.
Can't complain about anything. Well, Theo, right off the bat, just real quick and easy, are you a Star Wars fan? I know you were getting water, but I dropped the May the 4th be with you. Are you a Star Wars guy at all?
I love Star Wars.
Okay, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? There's a bunch to pick from, or favorite production, I guess. You can go with TV show if you want. Lots of them offshoots now.
Well, the best Star Wars movie is objectively The Empire State Strikes Back. Revenge of the Sith is one of the most fun movies to watch ever, really. I think Anakin Skywalker is arguably the greatest character in movie history. Revenge of the Sith, man, I can sit down and watch that just about whenever. I was thinking earlier, I'm probably going to watch that tonight whenever I'm home from work. It's hard to beat that movie.
That's a good pick. I'm gonna go with Rogue One myself. I know it's not one of the three trilogies, one of the three original trilogies, but Rogue One ties them together. And the sacrifice, everyone dies to let the rebellion live on. It's just a beautiful story to me. I find it to be because all the other Star Wars, you've got them 1, 2, 3, you got to watch them in order. But Rogue One, you can sit down, one movie, everybody and understand the entire scope of really the both trilogies, and I guess all three trilogies at this point. I'm not as much up on the newest set of trilogies with Ray, but hope everybody enjoys their Star Wars Day and enjoys May 4th. And if tacos are on your brain tomorrow, I hope you get all kinds of Mexican food tomorrow. It's going to be a great week. Theo, where do you want to start? You want to start with baseball? You want to start with basketball? Or you want to start with football recruiting?
I'll leave it up to you, dealer.
It's baseball. It's baseball because I've got to throw it right in your face. The last 3 weeks are all your fault. The last 3 weeks, winning 3 games in 3 weeks, and Theo sitting here, I mean, objectively speaking, saying that the team was floundering and dying, but all it takes was Theo just to leave the baseball coverage beat. You did get a lot of tweets from Theo this weekend on Alabama baseball, so he didn't fully leave the coverage beat. Follow him at Theo Fernandez _. But we're sitting there in the press box, Theo, and I told Nick, I said, I'm going to blame Theo on Monday. You swept Vanderbilt this weekend, really took care of business. Long starting pitching outings from Tyler Fay, Zane Adams, and Miles Upchurch, all 3 guys giving you long quality starts. Only 2 errors on the weekend. John Lim walks it off on Friday night. John Lim and Eric Hines both hit 2 home runs on the week. You really took care of business against the Commodores. The second 2 games, game 2 and 3, scoring big runs in the first inning. Theo, you told me this baseball team was buns.
You know, every time the team needs a turnaround, all they need me to do is step away clearly, because he did the same thing against Florida, right? A no-hitter and a sweep against the Gators when I wasn't there. It's funny. Like, I've done a very good job of taking my emotion out of my picks. As far as when I started coming on regularly, like beginning of the year, I was still operating as an Alabama fan. And I think I've tuned that out. You know, I don't really root for Alabama in any context, and I don't make the emotional pick. Well, I made the reverse emotional pick last weekend because I was leaning Alabama, and then I was thinking about all the errors, and I was like, well, I'm kind of this team's annoying me. I don't want to pick them. They're frustrating. I think I should do it out of spite. And I did, and Alabama proved me wrong. So it was really a performance where just you finally returned to a baseline. Like, obviously, your pitching was elite. The pitching was incredible, especially like what Miles Upchurch did on Sunday, getting into all that trouble early, battling, making it 5 1/3. He would have been out of the game in the 3rd inning, even a month ago. You talk about a guy who's really developed over the course of his freshman season. Look no further than Miles Upchurch. I'm fully convinced this guy's going to be a superstar in the SEC. Definitely junior year, maybe even as early as next year. Zane Adams obviously was magnificent. The stat of the day, though, the reason you got the sweep was 2 of the 3 games you played error-free baseball. And it's not like it shouldn't be some big gold star for that, but for this team, yeah, absolutely take it. And you had 2 errors on Saturday. They didn't cost you, so we can look past those. Cleanest baseball you've played in about a month for Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tongue-in-cheek blaming Theo. He has not thrown a pitch. He has not swung a baseball bat or fielded a ball all season long. And so, no, I don't think it was all Theo's fault. I think that Alabama baseball has been a talented team that has struggled maybe staying locked in through game in and game out, inning in, inning out, out in and out throughout the year. And then Vanderbilt comes in, you've got the season basically not on the brink because you were still looking really good for postseason play, but your hosting chances, are we going to be in the region? Are we going to make it to Omaha? Those chances were kind of on the brink. Vanderbilt comes in basically in the same situation, but worse, really fighting for postseason positioning. They were sitting there at last 4 in. They were sitting there at number 3 seed in the UCLA regional, barely going to make the field, coming to Tuscaloosa and fell right on their face. Alabama, I think, handled their business, did what they were supposed to do. If you were a hosting team, then you are supposed to, put down a team that is struggling, a team that has been up and down this year, and a team that has really struggled on the mound this year. I think Vanderbilt's offense is still pretty dangerous, but their pitching was a little shaky this weekend and has been this season. I really commend Rob Vaughn. I commend this baseball team. And then you look back at the last 3 weeks and you think, okay, it's Texas, it's Tennessee, it's Arkansas. You saw what Arkansas did to Ole Miss this weekend. what can we just chalk up these last 3 weeks of poor play? I mean, outside of the errors, the poor play to, wow, you're playing some really, really good baseball teams.
I'm past that point, Joe, even with the positives here. At the end of the day, we've really had two unique, distinct stretches of very bad baseball out of this team. And I think where I'm at with this team and where I'm going to be for the rest of the season is very, very talented squad. Extremely high ceiling. But will we ever be able to trust it to stay out of its own way, to not shoot itself in the foot? Like, I'm sorry, but at a certain point in the season, you get a label that you can't lose. So, great result from Alabama against a good but not great Vanderbilt team. Can you keep doing it? And, like, I'm sorry to be the pessimist here, but even if you keep doing it, even if you should sweep South Carolina this weekend, and then you're going to go into an Ole Miss series that very likely will determine which one of those two teams gets to host a regional. Even if you take care of business through all that, do you trust this team to, okay, we got through the regular season, we're in the postseason. Can you fully sit there and believe that none of those errors are going to, none of the stuff you've been struggling with is going to come back to bite you in the postseason? It's all just up in the air right now. And there's not much the team can do at this point to get rid of that label. That's where I'm at.
I don't think that's unfair at all, because if you've been following the team all season long, I don't think that's unfair at all. And here we are in the last 3 weeks. You've beaten Vanderbilt. Great. You swept them. Awesome. Well done. You got Troy on Tuesday. You need to handle your business there. And just as you said, Theo, you really need to sweep South Carolina. South Carolina, bad baseball team in terms of the SEC. You got to take care of your business there and sweep them. And then, if you don't sweep South Carolina, then you're right back into the, not trusting. I mean, you're feeling good about your result this weekend against Vanderbilt. But Rob Vaughn said it on Saturday when I asked him about hosting a regional, if this puts him back in position. He's like, well, sort of, but it doesn't matter if we don't play the next couple of weeks. The next 2 weeks really strong. We got to handle against South Carolina and take care of business against Ole Miss. Otherwise, this weekend doesn't matter. And so I think, Theo, you're kind of saying exactly what he was kind of getting at is that you feel good about the result against Vanderbilt, but I mean, what's your confidence in sweeping South Carolina? 6 out of 10? Because I think you should expect to, but everything that's gone wrong with this season, okay, I think odds are that you lose 1 against South Carolina, just because that's how baseball is. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like in baseball, a sweep is never guaranteed. Like, you expect to, but there's no such thing as we have to sweep this team.
Right.
That's fundamentally against baseball. I like 6.5 out of 10. I agree with that. That's where I'm at for a sweep. Good shot they get a game.
And so if South Carolina takes 1 game off of you, you've won the series, great. You're feeling good about that, but you are still looking at that 1 loss, and you're like, South Carolina. Like, so the result, the sweep against Vanderbilt's nice, but it doesn't move, I don't think, the needle into any sort of confidence that any sort of for Alabama. I think what will move them into a feeling of confidence is on selection Monday is being announced as a regional host. If they are going on the road in a regional, then all the trepidation, all the anxiety, all the feelings of, well, maybe this baseball team doesn't quite have it, I think it still carries you through in the postseason. But I think you can kind of move off of that or move away from that and move into a place of confidence if you are able to secure a regional hosting bid.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're 21-5 at home on the season. Your only home losses are the sweep against Arkansas, which, that was rough. And then Washington State opening day, UAB midweek. Like, midweeks, yes, it's indicative of all the errors you've committed, but they don't particularly matter. I agree with where you're at, Joe, and I think it's interesting looking at this schedule. like tomorrow night in Troy is a prime opportunity for Alabama to mess things up. Now, look, you scheduled a Troy team that you probably expected to be in the 30s in RPI. Troy is 67th in the RPI rankings right now. It's been a disappointing season down there for the Trojans. And that is a game that, like, frankly, everything can hurt you. And the RPI system, Alabama's 5th right now, that system is so broken. There was a game that, I want to say it was Michigan, who had to cancel their midweek game because the RPI of their opponent was so low that even if they'd won, it would have hurt their own RPI. Like that, it's a broken ranking system, but it's the best we have right now, right? So you got to take care of business against Troy, and then I'm not going to say you have to sweep South Carolina because you should. You have to win the series against South Carolina. If you lose that series, we're not even having conversations about hosting.
Exactly.
You're likely, like, if we give the team those wins, if we pencil them in, which is not a smart thing to do with this team, but if we pencil them in, you're in a very similar spot to where you were last year. Last year, you went into your final series of the year against number 23 Florida, very much right in the bubble to host. You lost that series and you were one and done, or not one and done. You got knocked by your first real opponent in Hoover, Tennessee. If it goes the same way this year, right? If you lose that series to Ole Miss, don't make noise in the SEC tournament. We're not even having a conversation. You are not hosting a regional. With that being said, the bar to host is not that high. Take care of business at home against an Ole Miss team that's pretty similar to you are. Win a game in Hoover. Just beat one real team that's not Missouri in Hoover, and you're probably getting the Tuscaloosa Regional. It really can't be viewed as anything besides a colossal disappointment if you fall short of that at this point in the season.
With who's left on the schedule, yes. You ought to beat South Carolina. Go over to South Carolina and smack them if you're everything that you thought you were at the start of the year. And you ought to be able to win a game or win a series at home against Ole Miss if you're both in the same boat, if you are the team you thought you were at the beginning of the year. So I think the baseball team had a good weekend, but I'm not sitting here doing backflips quite yet. I just wanted to blame Theo for all the problems of the last couple of weeks. Now that he's off the beat, there will be no more errors. The starting pitching will continue to go into the 6th inning. You'll have Matty Heiberger taking 2 or 3 appearances a weekend. Really strong performance for the baseball program. The softball team also swept South Carolina. South Carolina, one of the worst teams in the SEC. And so the softball team finished their regular season. They finished 2nd in the SEC. Oklahoma wins the regular season title, I think by like a half game. But you're going into Kentucky for the SEC tournament later on this week as the 2 seed. So they'll play, I believe, on Thursday, the 2nd game of the Thursday session. I believe, if I can remember the bracket that I saw yesterday pop up. So congratulations to Patrick Murphy. Really good softball season, 2nd in the SEC, barely 2nd. We'll see what they can do up in Lexington at the SEC tournament.
Yeah,
Theo, go ahead, please.
Last time it'll be a road environment for Alabama in the SEC tournament. You'll have a lot of home fans starting next year.
Yeah, are you pumped about that little Huntsville SEC tournament for 3, 4, 5 years?
I think it's cool. I don't know, there are some softball people complaining about it, but it's not like there are neutral site softball facilities just sitting around everywhere, right? The only real one, I think, is in Oklahoma City. So this seems like a good move for the conference, and I'm sure you'll be able to bring a lot of people, albeit mostly Alabama fans, to Hoover to watch that event.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it mirrors that SEC tournament in Hoover. Yes, it'll be in Huntsville, but it kind of mirrors the same sort of event there. I know a lot of, to Theo's point, a lot of the softball people we're hoping that Oklahoma City would be the site so that, the SEC gets a little baked in advantage of playing in the facility of the World Series a few weeks before the World Series happens. But I think look, if you had it in Oklahoma City, it's a very not central location for the SEC. Huntsville is a pretty central location for the SEC. So I think that's a good move. And I know that they already had, what was it, Rocket City Classic a couple years last year, where they had a bunch of softball programs there. They kind of tested the facility, and it worked out really nicely. So I think that is a good move for SEC softball to be up in Huntsville for the next 4 years. I think it's a 2-year contract with an option to add 2 more. So I think it's a 4-year deal right there in Huntsville. All right, Theo, let's pivot real quick. Let's pivot into basketball because I want to give you a chance to talk about NCAA tournament expansion, but let's make it Alabama-centric first because we were up there in Birmingham on Wednesday. And, Theo, let's take 2 seconds to mourn something. I think I lost the original glasses in Birmingham. I didn't wear them I didn't wear them on Thursday's show. And John shot us a message. Where are they? I looked around the room. I looked in all my bags. I think I must have left it on the shuttle in Birmingham. So going with the glasses that Mr. Woods got me for the time being. Appreciate you, Mr. Woods. But we were in Birmingham on Wednesday, listening to Nick Saban, listening to Kalen DeBoer, listening to Alex Golesh, Tommy Tuberville, also listening to Nate Oates. You can see all those press conferences on the Bama Central YouTube channel if there's anybody that you're curious about listening to. But Nate Oates basically went right through the roster right off the bat. I'm excited about the roster. Oh, everything's coming together. And essentially lays out a lot of things that we already know, but updated Amari Allen, updated Aiden Holloway, updated Keaton Bristow, updated Collins Onyejaka. And so really, I think the roster is about what we knew it was, but he was talking about Keaton Bristow, and he was talking about Keaton Bristow and comparing him to Houston Millett and how Houston Millett came here from, what was it, UC Irvine? Came here from one of the California schools, Pepperdine, and came over, degenerative knees right off the bat, barely could play, essentially took a red shirt and didn't play the whole year. Then came back and has ultimately turned into the career that we saw this past season, where really good, sixth man shooter, glue guy, effort, all about blue collar. And Houston Millett was highly touted in the program. Basically said that Keaton Bristow is experiencing the same thing. Came here and was too injured. He said he was too injured to really do anything. We saw Keaton Bristow these 10 games in this season, particularly the good game against Illinois, and essentially says that he's rehabbing. He said Henry Berea, the strength and conditioning coach, sent him a video pretty recently. He's got Keaton Bristow working really hard. He's putting on a lot of weight. He looks great. Everything that was wrong with him, his legs, he looks great. He's getting back to where we were wanting him. We were wanting him before in the transfer portal. So healthy Keaton Bristow. This sounds like to me what Ryan Poles has been saying about Dayo Odengbo, the defensive end the Bears signed last year to lots and lots of money, who was horrible and ended up getting hurt. He was horrible and busted a lower body injury, whatever, got hurt. It's not important. The comment for Ryan Poles this year, people are like, are you going to get another defensive end? Nate Oates, are you going to get more post play? Are you going to get another defensive end? And Ryan Poles, we go, oh, well, Dayo is motivated to come back and play hard and to prove himself. Oh, Keaton Bristow is looking better, is looking muscular, he's improved. And so the Bears fans have gone online and been, oh, well, we've got Dayo, motivated Dayo. He's great. He's ready. Is motivated Keaton, is rehab Keaton, is he the superstar that you were hoping to get out of the transfer portal last year? Is he the Kenneth Faried rebounding monster that you were wanting, that you were missing last year? Is he going to give that to Alabama basketball?
I think he definitely will, at least in spurts. I don't know how, I just don't know what the ceiling for Keaton Bristow is, because it's hard to forecast, right? If he really is strong or better, we presume he'll be more adjusted to SEC play, right? We assume he'll be, full understanding NATO system, all this stuff. He'll certainly have the opportunity for big minutes on this team with the bigs on the roster. So I don't want to set the expectations too high for Keaton Bristow, but I also don't want to set a cap on what he can do, because I think he certainly showed you, like in that Illinois game, for example, wow, this can be a very, very impactful player for Alabama. And it was clear from the beginning, right? Like from literally the first time he set foot on the court for Alabama, you had people saying, oh, wow, this is a tough player. This is a gritty basketball player. This is a blue-collar player. That's something we know how much this Alabama team needs that, right? Certainly seems to be at least at face value, a lot lost in the blue-collar department for this team, right? Amari Allen's status obviously being a big caveat too. But it is, I don't know. I like the idea of Keaton Bristow returning and being the sixth man, right, type player, the spark plug off the bench. It's just hard to say where he'll land.
Yeah, I don't know whether to buy into it because, I'm fighting my biases. I want the best for Keaton Bristow. I want the best for the basketball program. The players, Coach Oates, fans, everybody, right? But I feel the same way about the Chicago Bears, and I do not believe Ryan Poles whatsoever. I don't care about motivated Dayo Odingbo. He's going to have to prove it to me. And so I'm kind of feeling the same about Keaton Bristow. It's like, well, we saw what he did against Illinois. We saw him be a really mean, really, really big, bad defensive and offensive rebounder, really, really gritty in the post. Looks like a little Rodman type. I mean, obviously not. But looks like a rebounder, looks like a gritty guy who can be really effective and really be a strong piece to this program. But after what happened last year, the injuries, the rehab, these guys just not quite just quite not physically right. We got to get them physically right. Well, it is a long time until October when basketball really gets going, but is he going to go out and bang bodies for 3 games and end up, okay, my knees hurt again or my ankles hurt again? Or because I think that, when he's on the court, he clearly plays with his hair on fire. I think that's pretty evident, and I think because he plays with his hair on fire is a large reason why they said no, you can't play at all because you can't control yourself and play at 60%. You're going 100% all the time. Great, we love it, but we got to protect you from yourself. I think that's a large reason why he was sat and rehabbed up this year. I don't know what you're going to get out of Keaton Bristow. I don't know what you're going to get out of Keaton Bristow. And I look at the rest of these postmen, and you see really nice numbers. You see nice numbers in, off the bench, secondary roles, third area roles from Brandon Garrison. Cole Kluwer looks like an up-and-comer kind of young type player. You got the kid from Boise State as well, who looks Fielder. Like the real, like Drew Fielder. Thank you. Who that looks like the real get of the transfer portal class in the post. He says, he says that we feel good about the post. You got Jamarian Davis Fleming. Jamarian Davis Fleming, not Javion Davis Fleming. So you added a bunch of bodies, but I just don't know how confident I am about Alabama in the post next year.
Yeah, like Davis Fleming to me is the guy that I think I'm holding out the most hope for as far as I think this guy can be a big-time player. I like the way he moves up and down the court. I like him as 23 minute a game. Like he's your lead guy out there. I think Fielder will do a lot for you as a stretch. Like you have the bodies. You did not have the bodies last season. And I think, honestly, we didn't expect the depth to get as bad as it did, but I think if we looked at it a little more critically, we probably could have made that assumption. Just looking at the lack of guys there. That will not be a problem this year. I mean, if that's a problem this year, there's really not much you can do or much you can be upset about because you have the guys. I think it's up to, at this point, Oates brought in a bunch of guys that he evaluated and thought for one reason or another, here's someone we think can be an impactful Alabama basketball player.
Sure.
Now it's up to all those guys to individually prove him right. And yeah, I'm sure just about any of those guys could end up winning the starting job at this point, right? Could end up winning the lion's share of the minutes. It's all up to, okay, what are you going to do over the next 6 months to show that you need to be on the court for us?
Lastly, on the post front is Collins Onyedika. He basically said, he addressed everybody right off the bat, and then you had the players that he didn't address. So we asked about Collins, we asked about Amari Allen, Aiden Holloway, all that. To Collins, he basically said he's still in the same boat. He had a heart procedure. He didn't get cleared. He thinks that he could get cleared. There's a ramp-up period. We'll know sometime in the summer on Collins Onyedika. He's still going to be staying on scholarship. So that you can count him against the scholarship count on the roster. But I have no idea, and I would not have any expectations of Collins once again participating, unfortunately, because he just physically speaking, he still looks like he's carved out of granite, and he's still a young player and a young guy. I hope that he can get this heart condition sorted out so that he can maybe start his college basketball career. But if you are a Collins Onyedika fan like I am, you probably won't. I would not expect to see him anytime soon. Lastly, going to the front court, the back court, you got the guards, you got Aiden Holloway, and you got Amari Allen as question marks. Essentially, he told Amari Allen in the press conference, third party. He told us, but he was speaking kind of to Amari Allen to go kill it up at the NBA Combine. He said it's a win-win. If he goes and kills it, and they end up moving him up the draft boards, we'll use it in recruiting. If he goes and decides he doesn't like what he wants to hear, we'd love to have him back. We're holding a scholarship open for him, but it's really just going to be up to what he finds out next week in Chicago. He said he was working out great in Chicago, getting ready for the Combine, and going to try to perform very, very well. And Coach Oates, I said, "Are you worried about him playing too well?" And he said, "Oh no, if he does, that's great for everybody." And so lastly, Theo, and I'll get your comments on the guards here, is Aiden Holloway. And all he said about Aiden Holloway was, we've got a spot for him, but we don't have any updates. We've got to let the legal process play out. Outside of that, I don't have any comments. So Aiden Holloway does have a place on the roster if he can get himself cleared from possessing 2 pounds of marijuana.
Is the Aiden Holloway situation the biggest variable in college basketball right now? Like, as far as a potential swing for a contending team, I don't think there's a bigger one anywhere else in the country. Like, what is Alabama with Aiden Holloway versus without for next season? Man, that is especially if Amari Allen is in the NBA draft like I fully expect him to be. Like, I don't know what you do if you don't have Aiden Holloway on the court, quite frankly.
Yeah, if you don't have either of those two guys, I think that's problematic for the next year's roster. I think you'd love to have one of two. I mean, you'd love to have them both back, but one of two is simply a minimum. You've got to get one of two of them back, whether it be Amari Allen coming out of the NBA draft or getting Aiden Holloway cleared from his legal battle. I think if you are looking at yourself in the mirror and considering yourself a contending team, a Final Four, an Elite Eight type team, you want at least one, and ideally both of them back. Theo, why don't you take us into the next topic, because Nate Oates was asked about the NCAA tournament as well, the expansion, and he started talking about, the first thing he started talking about was where they're going to have it, because Dayton isn't big enough to have all the teams in the playing round. They're expanding to 76. Is that right? What I saw, expanding the tournament to 76 and basically building out the playing round to 20 or so teams in the playing round. He said, well, Dayton's not going to be big enough for it. And then he said the thing that really sent my radar off, he said, are we going to have teams with losing records in the NCAA tournament? Power 4 teams with losing records getting in over mid-majors that are, second, third in their conference. He said, that's going to be something to figure out as well. Theo, why don't you take the ball and run with it?
Collecting my thoughts here.
Yeah, take your deep breath. It's fine. I know you're really part of. If a curse word slips out, it's okay. But just letting everybody know, Theo's real unhappy about this. Deep breath, and take it away.
I've kind of come to terms with it over the past couple days. There's nothing we can do. I mean, this is going to continue. I've seen people advocating for the removal of the automatic bid. Not that that'll happen. but that is the world that we live in right now. You are going to sit down and watch a 19 and 13 team play in the NCAA tournament every year, and you are going to enjoy it. It's March Madness. You're going to love the tournament no matter what happens. So all we can do is just sit around and make the best of it at this point. If you were doing this in a way that was not skewed towards all of the power conferences, we would not have a big problem. If you want to sit down and say, oh, we're gonna have a whole play-in for every 11 seed, for all these major teams, whatever, go ahead. The fact that so many of these play-ins are going to be the mid-majors is what frustrates me to no end. Like, let's play a hypothetical here. You take the first 4 out and the next 4 out, right? There's 8 teams. That gets you up to 72. If you were to hypothetically take those 8 teams and say, okay, you guys are all going to play games on Tuesday and Wednesday against the 10 seeds and 11 seeds. And all the 10s and 11s are going to have to earn their spot by beating. Like the strongest 10 plays the last team in the next 4 out. If you set it up like that, I'd watch. I mean, right? It would be fun basketball between solid, not good, but okay teams. And you're sitting there watching it with knowing that, I mean, yeah, any of these teams could pull off the win over the 7 seed, right? Like we could have watched Oklahoma, for example, go on a little tournament run. I don't think it was super likely, but yes. We also could have seen some of those Mountain West teams who fell short, right? A lot of them, which I thought deserved a shot, but knowing the NCAA, it's going to be skewed towards the big teams. What you're going to get instead is you're going to get every 16 being a play-in game, right? Which is going to move other teams. Like, you just think about this, right? The 16s and the 15s, right? All of the 15 seeds, all the teams that were 15s are now going to be 16s and going to play in a play-in game, which is going to knock every other team down a seed line, right? Like the 14s move to 15s, 13s to 14s, and all that. So now all of a sudden, you are making it. So basically, the odds of pulling off an upset basically decrease by 50% every time you go up a seed line, right? Like a 4-13 is twice as likely as a 3-14. Very rough math. So now you're taking a team who would have been a 13 seed, right? Playing a 4, playing a not great team, but you're one of the better mid-majors. You have a shot. Well, now you're playing a 3 seed, right? Now it just got all that much harder for you to pull off an upset in a world where upsets are already so exceedingly difficult, right? Where we're talking about NIL. Is the Cinderella dead? I'm holding out hope that it's not, but the NCAA might have just killed it. The NCAA might have just drove a stake through its heart with this decision. Heartless, soulless move. And you know what the craziest part of this was? Quote, saying that we don't think it's going to move the financial needle all that much. It's not going to completely reshape things for the NCAA.
Then why are you doing it?
A couple extra bucks. We need to make the money disparity between the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, and the SWAC and the MAC conference. We need to make that even wider. It's not wide enough right now. We need to make sure that our golden children are not getting upset. We can't have that happening. That would be embarrassing. Oh, you had a losing record in conference play, but you know what? You were so close to going 500. I think you need a shot to play postseason basketball. This is an embarrassment, Joe. This is the fact that this is being considered everything that is wrong with college sports right now.
Yeah, so you're going to get teams like Oklahoma missed the tournament, right?
Yeah,
they were right on the you'll have, because Texas is the line. You had Texas, Kentucky, Missouri. They all made the tournament, right? I'm looking at the SEC standings. Oklahoma, Auburn, Mississippi State, like those are your next 3 teams that didn't make the tournament out of the SEC. I'm sorry. I mean, I know we got some Auburn fans that watch the show and listen to the show. I appreciate y'all watching and listening to the show and participating. But Auburn was not an NCAA tournament this year. Probably would have been with Bruce Pearl coaching them, but just the circumstances put them behind the 8 ball before the season even started. You're gonna keep on going like Mississippi State. Not an NCAA tournament team this year. It's just crazy. I like Porter Mosier. I think that he coaches a tough and hard-nosed style of basketball, and they had a lot of former Alabama. They had 2 former Alabama players on that Oklahoma team. Obviously, they took Alabama to the wire over in Norman. What was it, 1-2-point game or so? But not an NCAA tournament team. Like, come on, what are we doing here? Trying to get these other teams. Like, are we going to go all the way, all 16 teams? You're going to take all 16 teams in the SEC, and LSU is now 3-15 in the league. LSU is an NCAA tournament team. 15-17. That's going to be good enough to get you in the NCAA tournament because the SEC needs 16 shares of the NCAA tournament pool. Like that is, it drives me nuts. Just the greed. The greed drives me absolutely nuts, Theo. And you're right. Your earlier statements are right. You like the games will be on. It'll be on my TV. It'll be on my TV, and I'll be giving CBS, True TV, TNT, whoever's on my rating for that day, and we'll talk about the games, and we'll make it a big deal or whatever, like we do every year. But it is just eroding the soul of the NCAA tournament. I feel bad for the George Masons, the Butlers, the Florida Gulf Coasts of the world. It goes on and on and on. Pick your favorite mid-major that made a deep run. Your VCUs of the world. Just upsetting.
Nobody wants this. Nobody wants this. I am yet to see a single person, fan, analyst, anyone not tied to a Power 4 institution that nearly missed the tournament. Nobody wants it. Those are the only people who are advocating. And you hear Nate Oates, right? Nate Oates, honestly, he advocates for smaller schools a good bit, right?
And he didn't really say big pro or big, I hate it or I don't like it, but he was very clearly like poking holes in it. Well, we got to move it out of Dayton now. Oh, well, are we going to take, under 500 teams in Power 4s? Or are we going to take better mid-major? Like he was clearly poking holes. So while he didn't say, I hate it, I think it's dumb, it's not smart, he was clearly poking holes in his answer. So read through the lines, and I would infer that he's not a fan.
I mean, it's not the same tournament we watched for decades. I tried to hold out hope that, 2025 was a fluke. And then we got this last tournament, another, basically Cinderella-free tournament. The one Cinderella was basically the fully funded High Point University, which I enjoyed it, but it's not really a Cinderella. And now we're going to basically, this is the death knell to the Cinderellas. Just about, you made their lives so much harder. I mean, I'm struggling to see any real silver lining here because there really aren't any.
Well, the silver lining is we get Duke in the Final Four every year. We get Duke, we get UConn, we get North Carolina, we get Kansas, we get pick your favorite blue blood brand, and that's what we get. Oh, blue blood, And well, like, look, you watch this show, I love big box brands, and I love big brands in big sports. But part of the fun of March Madness is the Florida Gulf Coast, is the George Masons, the VCUs, the world, the Butlers making back-to-back NCAA finals. Like, I mean, I do love watching. Hey, you put on two best teams. I mean, I was there for Arizona and Michigan this year. I'm sitting on my couch for that for that game, but it's just not what the NCAA tournament is. Soulless, eroding the soul of the event, Theo. Terrible.
Yeah.
All right, Theo, let's take a pivot. We'll hit the last topic for the day. We're going to talk about Charles Scott Jr. Before we do that, we're going to hit our voicemail line. You guys can call us on the voicemail line at 205-462-7340, extension 800. But before we do that, we want to tell you about our friends at Purple Turtle Roofing. At Purple Turtle Roofing, we're not just another contractor. We're your neighbor and your advocate when it comes to protecting your home or business. With years of hands-on experience, top-tier certification, and a commitment to excellence, we've built a reputation as Alabama's go-to roofing solution. We specialize in residential roofing, commercial roofing, emergency storm repairs, full-on roof replacements, insurance claim support, and more. You can visit us online at roofturtle.com or call us at 877-PT-ROOF-5. That's 877-787-6635 today. You can visit us online at roofturtle.com. Check out all our products and services. Roofing with heart, built to last. Purple Turtle Roofing. All right, let's head out to the voicemail line, 205-462-7340, extension 800.
As Everett from Marion, just want to wish y'all a great rest of the weekend. And Mr. Gaither, please feel better. And looking forward to y'all's comment on my other voicemail. Thank you, and roll tide. Hey, guys. Everett from Marion, I know that y'all have missed me leaving the voicemail, but I'm going to change it up. And Katie, if you're listening or going to be on the guest, what is your favorite two restaurants in Tuscaloosa, and where is your favorite nighttime spot to go hang out with friends in Tuscaloosa? Thank you very much, and roll tide and have a blessed weekend.
There we go. Everett Osmer joining us on the voicemail line. Everett, I appreciate your well wishes. I'm sorry we missed a show on Friday. I am feeling a little bit better, and it's going to be a great rest of the week. Oh, good question there on the second part, the favorite restaurants. I got to shout out, look, Chuck's Fish sponsored the NCAA Tournament bracket challenge. I love me some at Chuck's. You can get sushi, you can get steak, you can get fish, you can get all kinds of stuff, pasta, pizza. I'm a big fan of Chuck's. He said 2, though. So that's on the really nicer end. On the more everyday side, I really, really like Pastor's Mexican Kitchen, Theo.
Never been there, actually. I'll have to check it out.
You got any favorite restaurants in town? Go ahead.
Yeah, I love Dreamland. I mean, barbecue, I think, is the greatest cuisine ever invented. Just had some of the best barbecue of all time in Austin, Texas, but Dreamland gets the job done, man. The ribs, the sausages, the banana pudding. I eat Dreamland all the time. So I'm going Dreamland favorite restaurant.
There we go. Everett, as far as nightlife and hanging out, man, I'm a homebody. So when I'm out at night, if I am out at night, I am at Bryant-Denny Stadium. I'm at Coleman Coliseum. I'm at Sewell Thomas Stadium. I'm at one of those places for work. I'll go out from time to time. I really don't go out. Look, if it's 8 o'clock and I'm going out, it's dinner and then back home for me. So I don't have a good answer for where do you go out and hang out anymore. Theo, where do the young kids hang out now?
Yeah, I mean, in a past life,
you're responsible.
You guys used to be able to find me in any of the bars, but I don't really do that at all anymore. But I enjoy going to Rhythm and Brews. You pay. It's like a $5 cover usually, and you get to hear a pretty solid, country or rock or fusion band there live. It's a good place to go with friends, hang out, get a table, watch, just listen to some music. So it's hard to complain about that. You won't really see me at the bars all that much. I'll go occasionally to the Wednesday night Red Shed karaoke that's free to get in. You just kind of show up, listen to people sing. It's a good time.
You got to get Theo up on stage to sing some karaoke. So
I was always up on that stage, man.
There we go. Make sure Wednesday night's a Red Shed featuring Theo Fernandez. Follow him at Theo Fernandez _. I appreciate the call, Everett, and I hope you enjoy your restaurants when you're in town. I appreciate that. Y'all can call the voicemail line at 205-462-7340, extension 800 if you want to be a part of the program. Last topic here, Theo, is on Charles Scott Jr. I know you did a lot of travel this weekend going from Alabama, pit stop in Texas, and now in California to get ready for the World Cup this year. So you may have missed it. Was it on Saturday morning, I believe. No. Friday morning. I believe it was Friday morning because you had the baseball team move up their game. Friday morning, about 11 o'clock, you had Charles Scott Jr. announce his commitment to Alabama. Then we wrote it on. I wrote it in the Sewell Thomas Stadium press box. Listed at 6'5", 255 on 24/7 Sports. 255 also on On3 Sports. But his huddle page has him at 225. He's told reporters that he's 235. Anyway, my man is 6'5", and he's somewhere between 220 and 260 as a quarterback, as a rising junior quarterback. He's a 3-star quarterback out of Virginia. He's ranked as the 33rd quarterback in the class of 2028. This is not the 27 class where you just got Elijah Haven and you already have Trent Seaborn. This is the next class, the rising juniors. My man's a rising junior, and he is a tank for Huguenot High School in Richmond, Virginia. Unless you say it a different way, Theo, I'm saying it as Huguenot High School in Richmond, Virginia. Last year, as a sophomore, threw for basically 3,600 yards, 3594 passing yards for 41 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Not very mobile. 22 rushing attempts for 115 yards and 8 rushing touchdowns. That tells me that he is a goal line monster and not really a rushing threat. But put on his huddle tape, Theo, and I see a former NFL quarterback just in every single clip. Have you seen Charles Scott Jr. at all? What did you make of the commitment? He's the first commit in the 2028 class. I'll tell him what the NFL comparison that I see in just a second after you give your initial reaction. Charles Scott Jr. commits to Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, just a big body, right? And I think very few people would be surprised to find out that a QB Alabama landed as a 3-star. Underrated, probably going to rise up in the rankings. It's a good bit, right? I mean, Keelan was a 4 when he committed to Alabama, right? He was a lower 4. Was he a 3-er?
I'm pretty sure he was 3, still committed to because that was the whole deal with Matt Moscona, getting 3-star commits. I'm pretty sure he was a 3-star.
Yeah, I mean, we see it time and time again. I had a little hypothesis when he first told me about him, so I watched some of his tape over the early part of the show, and I'm going Big Ben type mobility for this guy, right? You guys saw Ben Roethlisberger. He wasn't a running quarterback, but when you're that big and you know how to use your body, you can get big yards in big spots. I see him being that kind of player for Alabama. I mean, man, this guy doesn't look like a quarterback, and he can do the quarterback things. I think it would be so fun to watch this guy take snaps for Alabama. I love watching a big body guy like that just put it out on the line and make plays.
His huddle tape is 7 minutes of bombs. It's just bomb down the field left, bomb down the field right, bomb down the middle. My only concern with him is that his delivery is really long. He's got a really long, kind of elongated, slower passing motion and delivery. But right now, where he is in high school, it's not really that big of a deal. That's going to be something that he's going to have to work on, improving the speed of his delivery, getting the ball out of his hand quicker, kind of getting through his throwing motion a little quicker, a little more rapid. But I see Byron Leftwich. In every single clip, and it might be because he's, Virginia. Isn't Marshall? Marshall's in Virginia, right? Marshall's in West Virginia. It might be because he's from that area. But really, same size. Both of them 6'5", both of them big guys. Neither of them really runners, but if they wanted to put their head down and get 4, 5, 7 yards, they're going to get 4, 5, 7 yards. I see a good player right here. He plays for his father over at Huguenot High School, Charles Scott Sr. This was his second year playing quarterback. As a true freshman, he was 1,000-yard passer for 13 touchdowns and 1 interception. So I don't think he was a full-time starter as a true freshman, but gonna go into his junior year. Got his team to the semifinals this past year. Obviously, the speed of the game really, really increases when you get to college. but I see a lot of tools, and I think that I see Alabama getting in on a prospect before he before he jumps out and explodes as one of the class of 2028's better quarterbacks. Is he going to be the best quarterback? Probably not, because you're probably going to get people that don't love his size. But I think that let him get another year and change on the cycle. He's going to get bumped up to a 4-star prospect, and he's going to be considered one of the better quarterbacks in the class of 2028.
Then obviously so many more eyeballs on him now, right? When you commit to Alabama, so not saying that won't be part of it, but I agree that this is probably someone who would have naturally risen even without the commitment.
Yeah, had offers from Florida State, had offers from Georgia. Let's see these other offers here. Maryland, Mississippi State. So a lot of teams were starting to get in on Colorado. A lot of teams were starting to get in on Virginia Tech. And he picks Alabama over the weekend. Apparently came to Tuscaloosa last month on a visit, got offered, sat on it for a couple of weeks, and then committed. And, he's telling all the reporters, I'm all in. I'm done with my recruitment. I wanted to be committed before my junior year. And so, you look at these now. Look, Theo, I know we've been doing this. What happens if Austin Mack stars? Does Keelan Russell transfer out at the end of the next year? And, you don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen. You want to retain all your guys. You want to develop all your guys. Nobody hits the transfer portal. Everybody stays all their 4 or 5 years. And, NFL draft 3, 4, 5 years. And you're gone. But if you lose Keelan Russell to the transfer portal because you start Austin Mack because he's more ready and he plays well, and he goes to the portal, and either Austin comes back for his redshirt senior year or you're moving on to the next quarterback, you're looking at Jet Tamala, Taden Evan Cowa. You're looking at Trent Seaborn and Elijah Haven. The quarterback train, the quarterback pedigree just continue. You don't want to lose any quarterbacks. You don't want to lose any one of them. But you're starting to set this lineage up, this line of succession up to where if one joker decides, hey, man, I don't want to wait anymore, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, you are not going to have a problem finding someone to take snaps under center for Alabama. We haven't even talked about the possibility of, I'm sure there will never be a shortage of guys looking to transfer into the program too. But just the pipe, which, look, the ideal world, and I know it's kind of counterintuitive to everything that people are saying about navigating the transfer portal era. The ideal world is still you recruit a guy, you develop a guy, you start a guy. Quarterback is very much a position where I still think that is possible for Alabama to pull off. And I really do think we're seeing the beginnings of the Kalen DeBoer pipeline, if you want to call it, or Kalen DeBoer just developmental tree of, there are a lot of guys in the hole for Alabama coming up, and it's only going to continue. And you will probably have a quarterback competition most years, right? You think you are setting yourself up to not have, for better or worse, many 2-year starters because there's always somebody waiting, and because you've shown you can get guys into the NFL after one season. That's not a bad spot to be in at all.
I mean, you've proven it over the last handful of years with Michael Penix and Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson that if you come to play in Kalen DeBoer's system, if you execute it to the best of your abilities, you're likely going to be considered, or you will be on the NFL radars, and you will likely be considered a top-end draft pick. So it's hugely, hugely attractive to any quarterback that dreams of playing on Sundays, and what quarterback doesn't dream of playing on Sundays? So I think that this is a good move. Is he, Hall of Fame quarterback Charles Scott Jr.? No, I'm not going to even say that. But the stance I'm willing to take is really nice prospect, nice looking young prospect. Want to see him develop a little bit more. Want to see him quicken up that release. But I think it's just indicative to how the general quarterback views Kalen DeBoer and this Alabama program. I think it's very, very favorable, and I think it will continue as long as you keep Kalen DeBoer employed in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
All right, Theo, I think that's going to do it for me today. Unless you got anything else on your brain, I am out of material. I wanted to talk about Charles Scott. I wanted to talk about what Nate said about all the basketball players. I wanted to talk about the baseball team and make fun of you for jinx, for messing them up. It was your presence for creating the dark cloud that brought the errors and the strikeouts, too. But now that you're gone, the boys will play clean baseball, and they'll have tough at-bats, and the pitchers will go deep in the games. And Omaha, here we come. Anything else you got on the day today?
No, that's everything I have. I'm proud of myself showing enough restraint on the NCAA tournament expansion. I think if I let myself fully go, my roommates probably would have thrown me out of this apartment. But it's still frustrated over that, but it is what it is.
Well, we appreciate your time today. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Make sure you follow Theo Fernandez at Theo Fernandez _. He's going to be getting into a lot of fun things with the World Cup coming up here very, very soon. And we're going to follow Alabama baseball together through the rest of the season. We're going to have a big rest of the week. We'll get into a lot more topics. We'll find Katie Wyndham. We'll see what she's up to. We'll find Hunter DeCiver. Hunter DeCiver was on vacation last week. He sent us a photo from a beach in parts unknown. It was beautiful. So we'll find out what he's up to. We'll get his opinion on Drew Fielder. Is Drew Fielder the dude that's going to give you confidence with this Alabama post play coming up? So we'll talk to Hunter DeCiver. We'll have a lot of fun the rest of the week on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. We appreciate everybody watching us on the YouTube channel, on the Facebook page, listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify. We appreciate Purple Turtle Roofing for sponsoring the program, Derek Daniel, State Farm Insurance, for sponsoring the program and hosting the program. Call us on the voicemail line at 205-462-7340, extension 800, and we will talk to you again tomorrow right here on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com.
Thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Keep up with Joe on all his social media pages at Joe Gaither6. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and be sure to read us daily at BamaCentral.com.